Whew. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? It's Terrell Hall of Fame. D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. Let me get back aligned up. Last video got interrupted by the baby. But this conversation is probably one of the biggest conversations in the American bully world that most people would never know about unless I told you or Dave told you. This was back in 20, I would say 14. And this was around the time where a couple things, and some of y'all have heard me mention this. Um, it was actually, I believe it was actually Dave's idea to get rid of the 14-inch thing. I mean, to make the 14-inch the bottom of the pocket standard, because at that time the worry was the dogs were getting too short. And so it was like no dog under 14 inches. It was starting to become a thing. And so, yeah, we made it a rule. But the bigger conversation was the extreme. And at that time, it was still an extreme class. So the decision was, of course, as I stayed on his ass about that, getting rid of the extreme class. And he was all for it because he was catching flack for the extreme class, for the standard of it and how it allowed every flaws. And Dave wanted to get rid of it too. But this was why the conversation went left. We didn't argue or anything, but we had two different perspectives and two different plans. At that time, I told Dave, you got two options. Those two options are going to be either this. Either you go ahead and you make the extreme, and y'all have heard me say this over the years, and I always said they should have did this. It would not only been ingenious and made them way more money, and that's all they care about anyway, but it would have kept their integrity as far as the breed that we know. So I said, make the extreme class its own dog, the extreme bully. I was like, go ahead and make that its own dog, the extreme bully, its own breed. Other breeds can be bred into it, but it can't be bred, like, say, bred to an American bully, and the dog still be an American bully. It could only be an extreme with the additives. It's similar to what they did with the UKC did with the American bully. And Dave at that time was like, oh, no, we just want to get rid of it. I said, okay, well, if you're getting rid of it, I said, are you going to ban all of the dogs? And he's like, no, we can't do that because the registry can't survive if we ban all the dogs. So now I'm like, okay, bro, you're in a hell of a situation here, because where are all of those dogs going to go? And I never forget, his plan was to allow the extreme dogs to come into the other breeds, which y'all call classes. And through judging and analyzing the dogs, it was going to be cleaned up. Those dogs were going to be removed, and we were going to do better. Of course, the big problem with that is that you have judges and you have a community that doesn't analyze the dogs. They just award what's popular. So at that time, you have to remember, Magoo was an extreme champion. What happens is that he is an extreme champion. Now, Mr. Beans comes, who's more extreme than his daddy, more bulldogish, has more flaws and issues than his dad, but he becomes a grand champion as a regular American bully. It happened that fast. And you saw it continue to happen to where dogs that generally would not be allowed to be American bullies were pushing their way into the American bully class based off of nothing simply but popularity. And then we had the nonsense going, and this is what has led us to this point now where we see idiots who have never done anything, period, thinking that they can criticize a dog that is great as Remy, or or King Kamali or something of that nature. Now we get into this cycle because everything's based off of how much it costs. There's no real regulation as far as the community goes. So what happens? You have a community with no regulations, no rules. It becomes a popularity contest. The extreme class / breed has literally taken over all of the other American bully breeds inside the main registry. And with that happening, what has happened, and the part that you see the conflict about, is that those of us who breed real American bullies are like, nah, fuck you, dog, first of all, Dave, you didn't even have a right to do that as far as trying to erase our history and erase our dogs. But second of all, you bring the inferior product to the table. You bringing dogs that we seeing falling out in the rain, long ass backs, high rears, breathing issues, temperament issues, all of these issues, and you're acting as if this is the real deal when it's not. That was never American Bully. And this is where the argument starts at, because I have no problem believing in my heart of hearts that if it was an extreme breed, right? And that extreme breed would go in there and they would do their own thing and they would battle against each other. Then you would have the rest of the American bullies that are still judged the way that they are supposed to be judged. I think the breed would have been way more successful. And I told him that back then. I said, you have a great opportunity to add another dog to the registry, a dog that people are excited about, but maintain the integrity of the dog that we have always pushed and that really established the breed. For whatever reason, and I'll say this, even though I don't agree with a lot of shit that Dave does, and he is a habitual liar, I will say this, is that he's not a stupid person in most cases. And for him to make that decision, I just can never, I never really can understand it. And it's like the lie that keeps on going and keeps on going and keeps on going, because Woody knows for a fact that what he's pushing out there now is not real American bullies. You know what I mean? He doesn't have edge dogs. He's breeding Bashar's dogs. It's like he's in a contract with Bashar that he's got to push that type of dog. He knows that those aren't real bullies. And the thing of it is that literally they're doing any and everything they can to like erase the history of it. Like to hear people say that, Remy he's nothing now. He's, like, have you seen that dog? Like in any era, Remy would be an incredible and a beautiful dog. He might not be quite as bully as what people like nowadays, but he wasn't no small dog. Remy consistently is 85 to 90 pounds on a pretty solid frame, ripped up muscle with a big ass head. King Kamali, same thing. Very impressive dog when you see him in person, put together with great conditioning, great drive, great conformation, the whole 9 yards. And we have people who feel free now to down and demean these dogs. They just tried the shit with Paco. Paco is one of the greatest ever, and they tried to say something about him. So what I'm saying to y'all is, if y'all notice these attacks, these constant attacks on the older dogs, the constant attacks against the dogs that are very, very clean. The thing of it is that it's really like a reverse psychology thing, to where they're trying to convince the general public that it's a shameful act to have a healthy and clean dog. It's nothing else. If y'all think I'm lying, just think about this shit, man. The dogs that are promoted are obviously known for having health issues, are obviously known for dying at younger ages. We see them move, and they move horribly. A lot of them have very, very long backs, high rears, the whole nine. And they're telling you that these are your champions. This is what this is supposed to be. Dogs that we reprimanded years ago for having different breeds in them that they weren't supposed to have, like Miyagi, now has champions and grand champions, and even a nationals champion with his blood on it. This was one of the very first dogs that was banned, him and Bullseye, for very, very good reason. Now we're allowing this in there, but we're shaming the Remys and the King Kamalis and the Pacos of the world. Come on, man. And you ask, why do the two go together? Is the reason that those two go together is because our community knew better for a long time. Our community looked at extreme dogs like, no, that ain't it. And I believe without the interference of the ABKC, the community would have kept on staying on the side of a true American bully. It wouldn't be so split right now. It would have been still heavier to like, oh, this is what it is. But a lot of people are heavily influenced by trying to win those trophies. People love those trophies. People want to have a champion so bad that when they start going to shows and they had very clean, nice, healthy, well-proportioned bullies that go in there and show and gait good and move good and do all of that, and then you have a dog like Mr. Beans with his high rear, not so great movement, getting iced down and all this carrying on, and he's winning. Those people wanted a piece of the win more than they wanted a piece of staying the right course. You know what I mean? They wanted to find a way to, how do I compete? And that pulled this community in half because let's get it real. Most people here are not here for the correct reasons. Most people here, they want to show so bad. They have to show something. They want to sell something. They have to sell something so bad. And then you have people who just love the dogs. Well, when you have a society that's split like that, you're going to have a lot of butting of the heads. You get a guy like me, you know what I'm saying? I got rescue dogs. I got, man, I got some shit. You know what I mean? I got a lot of dogs that don't mean me any good besides, you know what I'm saying, being happy when they see me and shaking their butts. And they eat the same, you know, high quality $90 bag dog food and this and that and the other. They get all the same shit because I'm a dog lover, I'm an animal lover. But when you took the element out that it wasn't about animal lovers and dog lovers, but it became more about competition and monetary gains, and the way to do that was for you to have an extreme dog no matter what. That's when the game changed and you started to see this community grow so bitter because you had people who was 10 toes down saying, hey, I know what a real American bully is and that ain't it. And then you had people like, you know, these other individuals who will swear to you that they know everything about the breed and they were there from the start and this is what the dog is supposed to be. And I even heard this dude talking about his damn dog is a designer breed and all this shit. It's just, you know, it's a bunch of nonsense, and I don't know where it's going to stop. I don't know if it's going to stop, but I'll tell you one damn thing: it needs to stop. If you're asking, will I be doing an extreme American bully in the TBKC? No, I'll leave that to the ABKC. That's what they want to do. I don't see a future for the dog. I don't see anything but a lot of people buying and doing a lot of things with these dogs, and to the point that it becomes exhausting as far as trying to keep them alive and dealing with the health issues. These dogs don't have longevity, and it's going to become a more and more of a major problem, as you've already seen. The people are starting to complain about it, and you already have the issues of the extreme, and now they're introducing the Merle colors and different things of that nature. I don't see longevity in the breed, and that's why I'm, you know, going to stay in my lane and continue to push the American bully. You know what I mean? So with all that being said, man, let's keep this thing going. I will be back on live. I don't know when I'm going to be back on live, guys. I am not going to lie to you. I'm aiming for Sunday. But we'll have to see how that goes because honestly, me telling y'all how I'm going to feel today or tomorrow is a lie. You know, y'all know how much I love to lift weights, and I haven't even been in the gym. I've been drinking tea all day and not eating that much and sleeping and, you know, a little bit of therapy. So, but I'll be back, and y'all gonna get more and more videos, more and more content. Like I said, program videos and all that. I already got all that stuff recorded, so we're gonna push that out. And I'll be doing those things, you know, all the little things, but just as far as a live, I gotta go and sit somewhere for a couple hours, and I don't know if I'm gonna be ready to do that. It's not like forever or anything. It'll be within the next week, I suppose. But until next time, y'all, man, God bless y'all. Peace.